Listen, as an introvert, despite being an influencer, I'm very introverted. I'm quite shy in public. It comes across as arrogance or rudeness. I'm sorry if it does, but I'm quite shy. So, you know, when I go out in public, my goal isn't to be around people, to have a fun time. It's go out, get what you need to get done, and then go. I don't like going out to socialize. I'll do it for a good few hours and then I'm done. I'm not the kind of person to walk up to someone on the street and just be like, hi, how's your day going? You know, especially being in England. But listen, I get a lot of people approaching me in the street, which I actually really love. So please don't take that as me complaining about that, because I love meeting people who watch my other content on my other channels. That's when I like to meet people. But there's been some kind of takes and some opinions all round on this kind of social world we live on TikTok. And it's having people get very, very heated, right?
All I wanted was to go on a nice peaceful walk today, but yet again, here I am to complain about people not even being humans anymore. What are we doing? I'm walking towards this girl on the sidewalk, and God forbid we make eye contact or have any sort of human interaction on a how's it going kind of level. She's got the AirPods in, she's got the sunglasses on, she has her phone in landscape, folks. We have stooped to the level of having our phone in landscape like this? No. Please tell me you're not watching a movie just to avoid having some sort of human interaction. Guys, this needs to stop. Look around, get a little bit uncomfortable, and I don't know, say hi to a human
this
that's
pisses
4
me
feet
off.
away from you.
This is so fucking annoying.
God. All right, back to my
uh,
peaceful walk.
that's irritating as fuck. That is so fucking irritating. I really hate that. I really hate that. Okay, sorry, 1 second. So this is Crumahoney. He mainly does content around running during the night, which is fun. While also doing some like motivational type talking. And he absolutely does not help his own case here. Straight up, this man is behaving like an actual serial killer. I'm sorry, from the way he feels entitled to a stranger's attention, to berating her for being on her phone in landscape mode. I put my thing in landscape. I love watching YouTube if I'm walking, if I'm going somewhere. Did you notice how many times he describes this girl as not human? I need to say this as well. If I was a woman, and I can't put myself in the shoes of a woman, but if a shirtless man was walking towards me, smiling, expecting to get a conversation out of me when I have left the house, I haven't left the house to talk to anyone. I haven't left the house. My agenda on me leaving the house is not bumping into strangers and appeasing the way they want to talk to people in public. Are you fucking stupid? If someone doesn't want to talk to you, they don't want to talk to you. Especially a shirtless man walking up to a woman. Now, you as a man obviously can't see how that could be sometimes intimidating for a woman. She might have not been intimidated. She might have just didn't want to fucking speak to you because it's like, who is this douche with this and with no shirt on? That's just life. Life is not everybody wants to get into conversations with everyone. I wouldn't want to get into conversations with this guy. I don't fucking know you. There's loads of people out there in the real world I don't want to get into conversations with, or even just a hi. I haven't left my house to say hello to you. I haven't left my house to have conversations with random strangers. In fact, I will look down at the fucking street if I don't want to talk to you, and I will blank you, or I will look straight forward, or I'll look at my phone in landscape if I fucking want to. The way this guy thinks, the way he thinks people should behave to him in public is so crazy and fucked up. I'm sorry. I know he just wants kindness in the world. Put your phones down. Start looking at a tree. I don't want to fucking look at a tree today. I don't want to look at strangers today. I don't want to get into conversation with you today. I had a shit morning. I don't want to talk to you. I'm not going to pretend to be happy and go, hi, how are you? How's it going? No, why? Why should I have to do that? And it's ruined your whole fucking day. And you're spiraling out, having a hissy fit on social media, portrait mode, because I didn't say hello to you, because someone didn't acknowledge you because you felt they should. Listen, and I come from a country with fucking manners. You know what I mean? I'm sweating. People piss me off. I'm heated. Sorry, that was just the most irritating thing I think I've ever seen in my life. Okay. It's not the 1950s anymore. It's not, hello, ma'am. It's not like, good day, sir. It's not like that. Come on. And you know what? You know what social media has taught us? People are douches. People are red flags everywhere. And you are one of them. You are a big red flag. I'm not sure about anyone else. Like I said, if a topless, Bundy lookalike with a nearly handlebar mustache walked up to me in public and insisted I gave him attention, especially if I was a woman, I would immediately run away. Zigzag, so he lost me. You know what I mean? Just remembering the fact that this man prides himself on his confidence, his talks and motivation skills, and immediately loses it and spirals online because a woman had her phone in landscape mode. You may feel comfortable going for your jogs at midnight, but some people don't feel comfortable walking in the street during the day because some man expects them to talk to them. When they don't, they're like, "Ew, I can't believe this." Listen, no exaggeration. I'm into true crime. I listen to a lot of true crime stories. There are some stories where horrific things happen to women just because they ignored a man in public. You are having a meltdown, sir, and it's giving serial killer. The literal best case scenario is that this man is talking from a place of privilege in not knowing about the likes of, Laken Riley, Eliza Fletcher. In fact, I hope that is the case, because if he is just blissfully ignorant, he expects a different reaction from strangers to anyone else, and that just screams narcissist to me. There are a ton of surveys, right, and studies. For example, one being by the University of Manchester here in the UK a few months back. An estimated 68% of women runners and walkers reported that they have experienced harassment ranging from catcalling to being followed. 82% stated that they never feel totally safe while out for a walk, for a run. A survey done by Run Repeat found that from thousands of women they interviewed, nearly 10% reported unwanted physical contact just out jogging. And yet this man has no idea why no one wants to just stop and talk. How come a fly comes in every time I'm recording these reaction videos? I promise there isn't a permanent fly living in this room.
I was on a walk the other day and I posted a video about how some girl walked by me. She had sunglasses on, her AirPods in, she had her phone turned sideways, and really tried to not make eye contact or interact in any way. So I didn't really look at her, just walked by, didn't say anything, didn't do anything. Contrary to what a lot of people in the comments of that video seem to think.
I wouldn't get from that he tried to speak to her, but okay, sorry.
The whole point of the video was that on a grand scale, there's a problem with social disconnect, which
on a grand scale, there's a problem with men and the way they behave towards women in public spaces. Not all men, as we just spoke about.
I think has serious consequences. To paint the picture a little bit better, my neighborhood here in Austin, Texas, very chill. Lots of young people, young families, a lot of people that walk around and exercise and that kind of thing. I think it's the cordial and neighborly thing to do to just say hi, to kind of reinforce that community aspect of the place I live in. But regardless, people blew it out of proportion in perfect TikTok fashion.
Why didn't you just say it like that? Why didn't you just say it like that? Instead of being like, she's inhuman. She's not human-like because her phone was in portrait mode. Landscape mode even. You full on lost your shit because somebody didn't say hi. If you were just like, listen guys, can I have your opinion? Am I wrong in being slightly upset that this person didn't exchange a hello with me? Because I think it's a neighborly thing to do. I think it's really but when you first put this video up, it spoke more about how you really think about the situation than this video does. You've had time to think about what you said now, and you've read some comments, and now you're like,
made it into kind of a male-female kind of thing.
Because that's the world we live in. Sorry, I know you're like, on the grand scheme of things, no, that you have to be real. That's the world we live in. There are shitty men out there. There are shitty people. There's shitty women too. This fucking fly. There's shitty women too. There's shitty everyone. But you have to bear in mind that some women in the world do not want to speak to a shirtless man walking towards them with a serial killer mustache. It looks great. I think it looks great on you, but it is serial killer-like. Like those glasses. If you have these glasses, which I think look great on people, they're serial killer glasses. Not saying you're a serial killer.
Predator dynamic, calling me things like a creep, comments like these, all that kind of stuff.
Sorry, I know I keep interrupting him because I just need to touch on everything he says because he's still not getting it. Again, I don't think people are probably calling you a creep. And it is slightly, there's an underline of creepiness, but it's more stupidity. It's more like you're not getting it still. Do you get it yet? Do you understand why perhaps somebody would not want to say hello to you? Irregardless or regardless? You know, I go to school with someone stupid. Of, you know, whether they're male, female, whatever gender, and you're like, they didn't say hi to me and they're unhuman. You said they weren't human.
Which is fine. Totally understand.
Okay,
But
good.
also, the characteristics and behaviors that turn someone into an actual creep are the ones of social disconnect.
No, incorrect. Incorrect. That's not true. If someone's shy, perhaps perhaps they're a bit socially awkward, they're not a creep. A creep doesn't have to be someone who is weird or strange or something like that. A really confident person can be a creep. Who's that guy, that Army Hammer? Was that his name? Creep. Because he has a creepy tendency towards him, which was eating people, which I'm not comparing this guy to. But your creepiness is the fact that you wanted a woman to say hi to you, and then when she didn't, you got all weird about it. The creepy part is you ranted on social media, called her names for having her phone in a landscape mode. You went further than it needed to because somebody didn't say hi to you. That's the creepy part. Creep doesn't always mean socially awkward. Creep doesn't mean unable to maintain eye contact. Creep doesn't mean someone who doesn't say hi to you. Creep can mean a lot of things, and it can be a lot of people in many different ways.
Those tendencies of not interacting with people, being very closed off, living virtually, that's what creates that. And it becomes super problematic and dangerous when you're not aware of your surroundings. So,
or perhaps she was so aware of her surroundings that when a shirtless man with a handlebar mustache was approaching her, she didn't want to engage in that conversation. Perhaps she could read you from that far away. She was like, this guy's going to say something to me and I'm not in it today, so I'm going to look down. You know?
Being on your phone looking down all the time is actually much less safe. When you lose the skill of observation, you don't have that awareness of...
Sorry guys. Perhaps she was looking down more when you were coming. Perhaps she was on her phone like this, and she was looking up and around occasionally, and when she saw you coming, she was like... Because she saw you coming. Do you not understand this?
Facial expressions, body language, and these things are major cues.
She read you from far away.
When I'm walking around, I keep my eyes lighter. I have a softer facial expression as to not intimidate anybody, to be approachable. So I'm just filling my hair, and that kind of thing. And I think this is being lost the less that we are exposed to conversations, simple social situations, looking up, looking around, taking note of...
I'm sorry, 1 second. You're talking about people in general, but again, let's refer back to this person you walked past. She probably has a fucking job. She probably has family and friends. Because she walked past you and didn't say hi, the world isn't falling apart and people are like, I'm not socializing anymore because I'm on the internet. My God, it's like you're a Victorian man who just discovered people reading books. You know what I mean? Oh, reading is gonna ruin the world. Give it a fucking rest. This man's awful.
So people kind of created a narrative around this thing, again, blew it out of proportion.
Okay, and here's the creepy part, is you are still not seeing it. That is creepy, that you don't understand how your actions were creepy. That's the creepy part. You may think you're all friendly and nice, which I'm sure you think you are. The creepy part is you don't understand.
Which is to be expected. I'm a pretty sarcastic person, so I had a few sarcastic points.
Excuse me, as an English person, nothing you said in that video was sarcastic, and we are good at sarcasm.
In there that were kind of missed, and you know, I guess that's the flaw in my speaking character for sure.
Have you tried not looking at your phone to fix that flaw of your speaking character?
But again, I think this is an actual issue, and I'm not a fan of the look down, don't acknowledge anybody kind of thing, because I think it puts us in a worse position. So people have their stories. You can think poorly of me. That is definitely not the point. I just want people to consider things, maybe make the world better, maybe say hi to your neighbor, that kind of thing.
I say hi to my neighbors because they're nice. This woman doesn't know you. Otherwise, she would have stopped and had a talk with you. She doesn't know you. She doesn't know you're her neighbor. She doesn't know that. This, you know, some of my work, the content I hate the most online, right, are these men who, and it's not all men. So sorry if you're a man, I'm a man too. But you have to admit, there are men on social media who think they have the answers to everything. Nothing anyone can ever say to them will make them think, oh, what I'm saying might actually be incorrect. This guy is one of them. And here's the deal. Again, these people socialize. If you see people looking down at their phone, that's not them 24/7, or they're going to have a hunchback like this. They're doing it at times when they don't want to connect with the world. And it's okay to not want to connect with the outside world sometimes. At the beginning of this, I said I'm very antisocial, but I still go to events. I still do other things. I still do all this other stuff and socialize. And when I don't want to, I fucking don't. You can pick and choose. It's fine. Is there a problem with social disconnect, or is there a problem with people? You know, go to a club, a class, or any other community driven place if your sole purpose is wanting to chat with people. Go to a pub. The assumptions that this man is making about that random woman just from that one interaction that probably wasn't even a second long is insane when you have no spatial awareness or idea of what's going on around you. It's dangerous. Yeah, I mean, it's dangerous if you're not looking when you're crossing the road. I can almost bet on the fact she was very much, you know, aware of her surroundings. The fact that you were trying to get her eye contact because you were going to say hello and you eye contact me when you're going to say hi, like someone's trying to like flag down a waiter, you know, in a restaurant without being rude. You're like, or you're just looking at them like, you know what I mean? There has, for you, if you were going to say hi to her, there would have had to be, sorry, I have to keep pressing here because my note. You have to be about to make eye contact or going to make eye contact, and people can read human cues. She probably saw that and was like, because she didn't want to today. And that's fine. It was probably enough for her to make out like she was watching the most important thing of her life on her phone in landscape so that she doesn't have to interact with you. And that's fine. That's whatever. Plus, I wonder why it's dangerous. Is it because she'd be less aware of a man creeping on her by any chance? You know what I mean? Why is it okay for you to create a narrative and spin this out of proportion, but it's not okay for people to make observational assumptions on you? You just did all of that with that lady. She's inhuman. She's dangerous because she has no social narrative. Come on, back at it again with narcissism. For a man that, again, prides himself on body language, you know, and, you know, the art of reading people, he sure doesn't know when to leave someone the fuck alone. He also mentioned that he doesn't like the heads down, don't talk to me attitude. So he clearly acknowledges that he knew that that woman didn't want to talk to him, which just shows it was more about the lack of attention than more than what it was by any fake society bullshit he wants to spout, you know? What a fucking creep. Anyway, okay, moving on. So another video caused a ton of backlash on this topic too. So Kel's Bell's baby, within a day or so of the same saga we've just seen, posted this.
So I'm gonna need everyone to start popping out an earbud, turning off the noise canceling headphones when they're walking around, because a number of times I've tried to like connect with somebody on the sidewalk or on the train.
Why are you
no silence as if I'm
no. Why are you trying to connect with people on the sidewalk or on a train? I get the train a lot into London, and let me tell you, if you start talking to me, I'm going to ignore you. I'm sorry, it's just that's how I travel. Anyway, carry on.
Too many times. The other day,
one too many times, and stop fucking doing it.
I was talking to this girl and she was wearing a sweatshirt with a sorority I was associated with, and I was like, oh my god, girl, try till I die, baby. Ignored me. I tried one more time. I was like,
sorry.
Nope, nothing. Second one was this older woman. She looked so fabulous and chic, like probably in her late 70s, maybe early 80s, red lip, scarf, glasses. And I was like, I cannot wait to look like you when I'm older.
I know that was meant to be a but don't fucking do that. Sorry. I can't wait to look like you in general. It's nice. That's like saying you look good for your age. No.
Like, Grandma!
Nah, see, you're a dick.
Throw me a bone. Like, let me connect with you. What is going on here? Please take out the headphones. Look at me.
No. Listen, I'm sorry. Not everyone has to connect. Why do people think that the answer to the world's problems is to be so social and happy to each other? No, I'm sorry. If I'm in the street and someone comes up to me and says something to me and I don't want to talk to you, I will not speak to you. I'm very polite, so I will. I will. But if I'm not feeling it that day, I won't. And if you try again, I'm going to be like, now you're pissing me off. Read cues, read body language. These people, like, everyone needs to be. You can't read basic body language if you are trying again and again. And then saying to someone, I want to look like you when I'm older. That's not it. That's not it. Is it just me? Or are these two perfect for each other? Right? They can speak to everyone in the streets all they want. They can walk backwards and forwards on the same road opposite each other and stop and speak to each other every time they cross. To be frank, right, the way she talks about this older woman is so uncomfortable. Imagine living 70 years on this earth, still having enough joy in your soul to show up in your red lip, your scarf, listening to music on your, just living your life like every single fucking day. And then to have someone come up to you and be like, I want to look like you when I'm older. And then to call you grandma in the video. You don't know this person, she's not your grandmother. It's like low-key feeling like you're giving this like familiar title to someone because you want a level of familiarity back. It feels yucky. Look at me, look at me, look at me. I don't want to fucking look at you. Why would you demand? Who the fuck are you to order people around like that? I'm not sure what kind of complex this is, but it's definitely something that people has. Let's be a little bit real, right? Like what she's getting out of both of these situations is the great feeling of giving a compliment to someone or having something in similarity with someone. It seems nice enough, but the fact she can't consider, right, that's something that might make her feel good, giving a compliment, saying I want to look like you when I'm older, is something that might make other people feel uncomfortable. For someone else, is telling on how emotionally unintelligent she is. So after that video, right, got the exact same treatment as the last guy, she decided to post this as a reply. I can't fucking wait for this.
So no, it's not satire, and no, people aren't required to connect with me.
So give up.
A lot of people have been coming on here and being like, oh my god, this white lady isn't getting attention. Like, oh my god, nobody will connect with her. And I think we're missing the plot. We're missing the point here.
No one is.
No one is. People won't connect with me. I think it's more so collectively as a society.
Here we go.
So engrossed in our headphones.
Our phones.
Oh. That we're no longer experiencing. Like,
shut up, you. Even no longer experiencing you. I hate this. Pull your phones down. Look at a mountain. Drink some river water. Live in the world. People do, just not at that point when you are trying to engage with them when they don't want to. So this is giving me, right, me engaging with them as a test of their social abilities. It's fucking not. My social abilities gives me enough confidence to ignore you. To say to myself that day, I don't want to be in an uncomfortable situation. I don't want to talk to a stranger. I'm just going to straight up ignore you. And that's fine too.
One another. And whether that's like a fleeting moment on the sidewalk, in the train, it's part of human existence to communicate and see one another.
The people you want to communicate with and the people you want to see. Not you on the street, whoever the fuck you are. I'm not going to go out there and when someone tries to talk to me when I'm listening to music, a podcast, maybe a voice note from work, and someone's like, hey, I love... That's not part of my human experience. That's not part of my daily experience. When I then will go to work and communicate with people, I'll communicate with my partner, I'll communicate with my family, I'll communicate with a person who's serving me in the store. And you randomly on the street coming up to me when I'm just trying to live my life and then being like, no.
And a lot of people on here are like, oh, that is not how you build community. It's like these deep, meaningful relationships. And how do you think relationships are started?
You can't convince somebody to start a relationship when they don't want to fucking talk to you. Why is this so difficult to understand? And listen, some of you may think I'm being harsh. I get it. In an ideal world, we'll all walk around giving each other fucking daisies in the street, hugging strangers, holding hands, drinking fucking Diet Coke or whatever that advert was. But at the end of the day, that's not reality. And there are some days where even we don't want to live like that. Right? Come on. You have to be... These people act like the people that they are trying to speak to are the ones with no social understanding. You are the one with no realization that this is not how everyone wants to or has to live their life. The answer isn't, but we keep looking at our phones. Yeah, we do. And that's the world we live in. You know? I'm sorry, but it is. Is it ideal? No. But it's true. It's life. And you walking up to somebody and telling them you want to look like them when they're older, you just pissed that person off. You're not making the world a better place. That person's going to be like, wow, that random girl said hi to me. Maybe I'll go on a hike.
You are not going to find some deep, meaningful relationship just like out of the blue.
And you're doing, sorry, I can't fucking believe this. You're going to try and do so by, no, sorry,
It's
I'm going to play through.
Conversations you have with people. And even then, like, people are like focusing too much on the community that's like these deep, meaningful relationships of somebody in your life has to be like your best friend. No.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Just be that you
No one's
that you
up,
have
no one
somebody,
cares.
like, on the corner or on the street that's going to recognize and see you as a human being.
What the fuck are you talking about? I'm sorry.
Sue me.
I'll be down
Sue me
here.
for wanting to compliment somebody's shoes. Sue me for actually.
That's
being nice to
fine.
me. I'm like broke, but
Listen. No, actually, let me give it to this girl. Wanting to compliment somebody is really nice. You give backhanded compliments, work on your compliments. But that's something really nice to do. Maybe don't approach people with these in. Who are, here's the deal. If I'm wearing these in public, even if I have a mask, or actually I haven't worn a mask forever. I loved wearing a mask. It was my sign of don't talk to me. Perhaps don't approach them. These people are purposefully cutting themselves off from the world at that point. Understood?
But like, what do you expect for me to like see somebody's in an organization I'm in and be like, girl, we're in the same organization? That's crazy. I don't know. Everyone's so averse to talking to people, to letting people just say something, acknowledge them. Like, I'm not sitting here asking people to share their deepest, darkest secrets with me. I'm literally just like asking to be looked in the eye.
Why by a stranger? Why do you want that from a stranger who doesn't want that with you? Not just me saying this now, but as somebody, it's very self-deprecating to be like, I'm trying to talk to all these people and they're ignoring me. So don't fucking speak to them then, because I don't want to talk to you. Why are you doing that to yourself? Speak to people without their headphones in. Talk to ChatGPT. You know? Don't look strangers in the eye either.
And I get people need to wear headphones for different reasons. Like,
sure.
You have a day at work, you don't want to talk. I get that.
Right.
But when the collective majority of people, like when you look around and nearly everybody has headphones in, everybody's staring down at their phone.
Right. What?
Like, what are we doing?
Listening to music or watching something on our phone is what we're doing. Do you expect everyone to sit on a subway like this? Good morning, how was your day going? Oh, and what do you plan to do today? That'll be nice. Everyone having all these conversations. They don't have to be deep and meaningful. You want everyone to get on public transport and be chatting away? No, thank you. No, thank you. Just because everyone might be as sociable as you, I don't fucking want that. And listen, as somebody who lived in London, I had random people talk to me. I would take off my headphones and talk to this person who is telling me, that they're woken up every day by the devil and that they're off to stab 50 people. That never happened. But you don't know who you're going to speak to. And I've spoken to some crazy people on public transport and in the streets. Please live in the world that we live in. Yes, it will be so ideal. My gosh, wouldn't it be ideal to all be so lovely and all so nice? But we're not. We're not.
What are we doing? Anyway,
what do you mean by that? What would you prefer? I just spat. That's how
Christine Rosen wrote this book called The Extinction of Experience, Being Human in a Disembodied World. She also did a podcast.
That actually sounds really good.
The Gray Area with Sean Illing. But in it, she discusses essentially like what's happening with cell phones. And it's a decent book, but it kind of touches on this topic overall. And it's kind of what inspired me to start just like trying to have interactions with other people.
Sorry. Oh, maybe you shouldn't have read it. Can I just say something? I grew up in a world where not everyone has cell phones, right? I brought my first cell phone, my first mobile phone as a communicator. I got my first phone when I was 16. It was a Nokia 3210. We didn't have YouTube on our phones. Social media didn't really exist back then. It was still the same place. We weren't all getting on with each other and looking around, smiling at each other and shaking hands with it. It was still the same place. But instead of sitting in silence, not talking to each other, we have something we want to do. Maybe we're reading. Maybe we're listening to an audiobook. Maybe we're watching something. Maybe in your little village, people left their front doors open and ate stews with each other or pies, whatever. Not this lady, back in the day. But as somebody who grew up in a time without phones, there's really not that much difference other than it's easier to meet people at a certain time. You don't have to call the house phone. You can use the phone and the internet at the same time. The world isn't that much of a difference. It's not going to shit because Sally is on her way to work and she is watching the latest episode of her podcast or listening to an audiobook. And she's not saying hello to you, sitting across from her like this, waiting to gain eye contact.
Outside of people I know, because people are apparently really afraid of talking to one another.
They're not afraid. They don't want to. They don't want to.
I digress. But she said that looking someone in the eye is a subtle gesture of inclusiveness, a small but significant act of civil attention.
Sorry. I know this is going to go forever because I keep looking somebody in the eye can be taken either way. Either way. It can be very intimidating. It can be a flirt. It can be something else. It depends what you're doing with the rest of your fucking face. Looking someone in the eye is great when you're having a conversation, when you've entered a conversation, when you're both saying hello to each other. But if I'm sitting across from you in a restaurant and we don't know each other and I'm looking you in the eye, come on, guys. This is fucking crazy.
Inattention is where one treats the other as if he has been seen, but is not an object of undue curiosity. This is as Goffman described.
But why do you have to be curious about everyone?
Civil inattention is still a kind of acknowledgement, qualitatively different from being looked at as through air. So when we focus our attention on the glowing screens of our smartphones, rather than on the people around us, never granting them even brief acknowledgement, we are not practicing civil inattention, but civil disengagement.
Well, maybe you're practicing civil disengagement on purpose. Why do people not get this? It is a very good social skill. It's almost, what's it called? What's it called back in the day when the cavemen knew something was coming? Oh, it's a gut sense. Or it's a very good skill to be able to walk into a room and give everyone the vibe of don't fucking speak to me. That's a great human skill to have. Is it a pleasant one? No. Is it a nice thing? No. But it's a great human skill to have. It shouldn't be downplayed.
This is becoming the norm in public spaces.
Good.
So we are now...
Good. I don't understand what you all want from public spaces. What was a public space? Maybe some of you can answer this, because to me, it's the same. What was different for you in a public space before you had a smartphone? Apart from people looking at their phone. Was everyone talking around, chatting, shaking each other's hands, licking each other's mouths, gaining eye contact? What was different? Nothing was different. This is the same this again, it's this given Victorians being, fainting because their children are reading books.
At this point of civil disengagement, where we have such an individualistic approach to how we move through the world.
Good. I'm not seeing.
We're transgressing as a society. I don't know what to tell you. Things are so messed up in the world already. I'm sorry for wanting to connect with another human and be like, hey, I like your shoes. I don't know.
Just because there is wars in other countries does not mean I want to talk to you on the street. I know the world is fucked up, yes. Doesn't mean I want to talk to you today. Doesn't mean I want to gain eye contact with you today. Doesn't mean I want you to compliment me today.
Girl, you have toilet paper on your feet. You dropped your wallet. You're about to sit in a man's piss on the friggin' subway. So, I don't know. Y'all can be mad. You can stay mad.
But that's a different thing. When you give off a sense of urgency, because I've done this before. I've told people they've dropped something or when they've had headphones in. Or I've been like, oh my God, you left your bag on the table. Your sense of urgency, your body language gives off, oh, someone's trying to talk to me, like someone's trying to grab my attention urgently. It's a different situation.
Wear your headphones.
Yes, you can.
Sorry if I want to tell you look pretty today.
That's okay. I don't need it though. What? Can't stand it. I can't bear it. I'm sure she has very nice intentions. Listen, great intentions, sure. Yes. There probably is a worldwide issue with disconnect. We're living in the most socially strained time humans have ever existed in. It's bound to happen. But coming online to slate people because they fancied listening to music after their 8-hour shift, or probably speaking to shitty people all day, wanted some time to themselves after being sat in college class all day, you know, and just wanted to listen to a podcast because they want to think of something that isn't the fact we're in a worldwide depression right now, you know, or there are wars going on, while ignoring the fact that the state you see a stranger in once might not be how they actually exist on a day-to-day basis. And much like most other people, they probably do in fact speak to people, just not you, is what I would actually consider. We live in a world where, because of the longest working hours people have ever had, the internet and phones, we for the first time ever are available 24/7. God forbid you take some time away. She goes on to talk about this woman and her book like it's some kind of like gospel. Just because somebody wrote a book does not automatically make what they say correct or factual. Look at who else has written books. To acknowledgement is to attempt to understand. Maybe, sorry, it hasn't come my eye. Maybe if more people were like that and didn't care so much to the point of ridiculing every single thing everyone does, maybe the world might be a more comfortable place to be social in. That was exhausting. That was exhausting. Okay, listen, I have to say, no hate, a little bit of hate to that guy, because I think he's a creep. I'm sorry, I know he thinks that being a creep means you have to like maybe physically assault someone or have stalker behavior, but also being a creep is that, you know, you can't see what everyone's trying to tell you. You're being creepy. You're being a creep. And honestly, she's a little bit creepy too. They're both creepy, to be honest. I think they need to maybe watch their things back and if more people are telling you you are wrong than you are right, you need to see things from both sides. What's in my eye? Okay, all right. Oh, well, thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to go out and I'm not going to give one person eye contact. And then I'm going to give them too much eye contact. And then I'm going to see which one's better. Thanks for joining me. Subscribe. I'll see you soon. Bye.